It could be a fake terrorist attack, it could be a war, it could be a government crash, an economic crash. At that point, those who've created the problem and gleaned that public reaction then openly offer solutions to the problems they have themselves created. And those solutions are changes in society which advance the agenda of global control. Who creates money? Governments create money. No, they don't. Overwhelmingly, private banks create money by issuing non-existent money called credit. So all this money was hosed at the banking system, and in that way, a banking crisis became a government crisis. And the governments are then making it a people crisis.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Icke.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, free your mind. I can't hear you, so there you go. Free your mind is what the whole theme of this event is about. And, well, free our minds, because it includes mine as well. And free your mind doesn't mean believe what I say, or believe it because I say it, or take it as read. Free your mind just means opening the mind to all possibility, and then deciding what part of all possibility we choose to accept as reality. So what I'm not doing is standing up here today and saying, I've got all the answers, here you go, here's another belief system. It's information, it's what I've compiled, it's conclusions I've come to over the last 20 years of full-time research in about 45 countries, but it's information. It's not there to be believed just because I say it. And I think I can sum it up really by what this man said. Wilhelm Reich, who was a philosopher and an inventor and what have you, and he said this: am I a spaceman? Do I belong to a new race on Earth bred by men from outer space in embraces with Earth women? I request my right and privilege to have such thoughts and ask such questions without being threatened to be jailed by any administrative agency of society. In the face of a rigid, doctrinaire, self-appointed, ready-to-kill hierarchy of scientific censorship, it appears foolish to publish such thoughts. Anyone malignant enough could do anything with them, and they did. Still, the right to be wrong has to be maintained. We should not fear to enter a forest because there are wildcats around in the trees. We should not yield our right to well-controlled speculation. It is certain questions entailed in such speculation which administrators of established knowledge fear. But in entering the cosmic age, we should certainly insist on the right to ask new, even silly questions, or apparently so, without being molested. 20 years ago, nearly, I decided I was going to take that right. And I'm going to continue to exercise that right to the day I leave this reality. Because if we don't defend or express our right to go into these areas that are beyond the norm, then we put ourselves in the prisons, the mind prisons, and therefore the physical prisons that those norms impose upon us. It's a mad world which is sold to us as sanity and rational. And it's held together by what my friend Mike Lambert, who's in the audience today, calls repeaters. People just repeat facts because they've heard them from someone else, and then it becomes conventional wisdom, conventional knowledge, and everyone believes it. As Oscar Wilde said, most people are other people. Their thoughts are someone else's opinions, their lives are mimicry, their passions are quotation. And Mark Twain, I love this one, in religion and politics, people's beliefs and convictions are in almost every case gotten at second hand, without examination from authorities who have not themselves examined the questions at issue, but have taken them at second hand from other non-examiners whose opinions about them were not worth a brass farthing. There you have where the conventional knowledge, wisdom, this is how it is, mate, comes from. It's a war on the human mind and human perception, so we see the world and ourselves in ways that allow this conspiracy to go on. And also, society is structured to keep us busy, moving. Oh, mortgage, oh my God, rent, oh my God, job, oh my God, what's happening? Oh, it's a credit crunch, oh my God, food prices. So no one goes, so that's what's going on, because you're too busy trying to survive. That's the idea. And it starts with the kids now, younger and younger. Oh, you've got to pass this exam, oh my God, what will happen? Oh, you've got to get good grades, oh my... Hey, have some bloody fun. Have a bloody laugh, mate. We should have happy lessons. What makes you happy? Okay, we're going to do that today. What makes you fulfilled? What makes you feel good about yourself? We're going to do that today. No! Algebra! Algebra! What the bloody hell is all that about? I could never work it out. I never tried, really. What does X equal? Couldn't give a shit, mate. Whatever you say. Ain't bothered. I've lived 56 years, right? I've never used bloody algebra. I've never entered my mind. Shh. Get that one. Delete file. So we have this world of apparent confusion because of the way that it operates. We turn out shite that we don't know what to do with. We reach a level where we can create amazing technology, and we use that technology to pepper bomb cities full of civilians. And you know, we've at the cutting edge of evolution. We can kill more people in one goal than ever before. Hey! Isn't it great to be human? And this is what we do in the name of freedom. We think it's okay for children to sign their names on bombs which end up on children just like them in the Lebanon. But we don't want to talk about that. Hey, here's a game show. Watch this. Shut up. Hey, honey, quick. She's going for the car. Quicker the bloody better, I say. People around the world get bigger while people die because they've not enough to eat. Massive amounts of food available, thrown away, while others, I've seen this live once, it's unbelievable. People living off rubbish tips to survive. But we don't want to talk about this. Oh no! Hey, quick, honey! There's a picture of Paris Hilton naked in the back of a car. Quick! Was that the car that lady just went for? Watch this! Shut up! Don't let's talk about this and get all moral about it. Let's talk about Janet Jackson's breast at the Super Bowl. Hey, the moral fibre of America is collapsing. Oh, no, that's the moral. This is fighting for peace. This is just collateral damage. Don't worry about it. As Gandhi said, what difference does it make to the dead, to the orphans and the homeless, whether the mad destruction is wrought under the name of totalitarianism or the holy name of liberty or democracy? None whatsoever. They're all tyrannies when they do that. Then we have the money. What you do is you go to the bank and you borrow money that has never, does not, and will never exist, called credit, and then you mortgage your house to it, you mortgage your car to it, your land to it, your business to it, and if you don't pay back money that doesn't exist, called credit, then the people that have lent you that non-existent money get your car and your business and your house. Yes, that makes sense. And this money scam, where they get us into debt by borrowing money that has never, does not, will never exist, is in the very DNA of society. It controls choice, controls maneuverability. or if we allow it to, controls society. And who controls money? Controls society. Who controls money? A tiny few people, as we'll see. But we don't want to talk about that. Hey, honey, quick, on the Jerry Springer Show, this man's going to hit his girlfriend. Quick, quick. Watch this. Shut up. Then there's the new religion of celebrityism. Go to the supermarket. Yay, get on with your life. There's the goddess. And then, if you want to know what's going on in the world, that's no problem, because these people will tell you everything that the people that control and own their industry think is fit for you to know, so you'll believe and see the world the way they want you to see it, called the news. And then be afraid. It's a world in which we must be afraid all the time. Must be afraid of not having enough money, afraid of what's going to happen in all areas of our lives, afraid of the future, afraid, survive, we must survive, or we must always be in a state of fearing not surviving. It's a crazy, crazy world. But why? Why is it an upside down, lunatic world that we live in? People might say, oh, it's all a coincidence. It just happened like that. Well, I would say after 20 years of this, that it is coldly calculated to be like this because of the outcome that it gives those who are manipulating society in this way. And it's not just one level. There are multi-levels to this conspiracy. Yes, there's dark suits sitting around a table and orchestrating this to an extent, but they're still the gophers playing it out. It goes much, much deeper, and we'll go there as we go along today. The reason we are confused about the world and everything that goes on in it is because we don't have the coordinates. We don't have the coordinates from which to see how things fit together. How few people kind of seem to ask that question, in my experience anyway. I live in the real world, mate. I've got to get on with my job and my life. Yeah, but who are we? What are we doing? Oh, I'm bothered. We've got to get on with my life. But without this knowledge, this key coordinate, how the hell can we understand what's happening and our part in it? Coordinate number one, we are consciousness. We are not the body we think we are. And the idea is to put us in these eggshells of consciousness, and it's a doddle if we don't hold on to an understanding or have an understanding of who we really are and the magnitude of it. Just a quote from one of my books, only when we know who we are can we know freedom. Of course. Unless we know the nature of reality and who we are and our part in it, how can we understand the world if we don't understand the reality that is the world? No wonder we're bloody confused. What is reality? How about that question? Oh no, that's just for scientists, it's not for you. We'll watch the football. Nazi propaganda minister Goebbels. It thus becomes vitally important for the state to use all of its powers to repress dissent, for the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie, and thus by extension the truth becomes the greatest enemy of the state. And the truth that is most suppressed, the biggest lie of all of them, on which all the others are based, is it's all an illusion. This physical world is not physical, it's not even out there, it's in here. It's a holographic projection, so I'll come to as we go along. It's an illusion of physicality, an illusion of solidity. We are consciousness, and it's so easy to trick the brain to see reality in ways that are not actually what it's looking at. This is this amazing bloke who draws pictures on flat pavements, and yet the mind reads them, the brain reads them as three-dimensional. Does some great stuff. There's another one. We can look at that as, 7 compartments, or we can see that as a box. Depends on how the brain reads it. The interaction and placement with other colours, they look totally different because the brain reads them differently. We are decoding reality, and how we decode it decides the reality we experience. Major point we need to understand. Einstein, reality is an illusion, albeit a persistent one. Why it's a persistent one we'll come to before we finish this first section. But reality is an illusion, and we need to understand that.